Hello YouTube, how's it going? It's a professional here today, and today we are reviewing the Akula helicopter, the newest attack helicopter with the Doomsday DLC, and we are purchasing it for a trade-in price of $2,785,000. So let's get right to it then, shall we? So the Akula is a 4-seater attack helicopter. This helicopter has the standard upgrades like handling, EMS. It can drop bombs just like in the Hunter. And the co-pilot's gun can be upgraded to fire 2 miniguns instead of 1. Note that it is not explosive. And the pilot's main guns are minigun machine gun rounds as well. And its main other configuration is either missile barrage or homing missiles. And the barrage, it's not the same that's in the Hunter because it only fires 4 missiles versus the Hunter, which fires 7. But what's unique about this helicopter is it has a stealth mode in it, an off the radar function. You hit it with right in the D-pad, and when you hit that right in the D-pad, you are not seen on the radar by any other players. And in addition, it brings down any wanted level you have to 2 stars. It does not have flares. So the first thing I wanted to show you guys about this helicopter is its most unique feature, which is stealth mode. You guys see I have 5 stars right now. Whenever you get into this helicopter and you activate stealth mode, not only are you off the radar for all other players, but your wanted level goes down instantly to 2 stars. So whenever you have police and you try to lose them really quickly, you can just cause chaos in this helicopter, activate stealth mode, and you'll only go down to 2 stars. Helicopters don't spawn, it's easy to get away. Now, let's talk about speed in this helicopter because I wanted to do a speed test to see how fast it is compared to the Hunter. 3, 2, 1, go. So as you guys see in this situation right now, is I managed to get a little bit of a head start here, but the Hunter is catching up to me very easily, and the Hunter passes me. So even though this is a decently fast helicopter, the Hunter still blows it away. So the Hunter is still one of the fastest helicopters in the game. So this helicopter does not beat the Hunter in terms of speed. So in this instance right here, I wanted to do a dogfight between the Akula and the Hunter to see which helicopter was better in the dogfight. And this clip is sped up, but right here I managed to dodge a decent amount of the missiles, but I can't keep dodging forever. The Hunter has better agility and it has flares, so eventually I'm gonna lose. So in a straight up battle, the Akula loses to the Hunter. However, the stealth mode has to be taken into account, and this is a very difficult test to determine this. But I told my friend Joe Juni right here to fly around, and I told her I was going to ambush her at a random moment. I didn't tell her when I was going to ambush her because I wanted this test to be as accurate as possible. But here, I got out of the stealth mode, I ambushed her, I came up right behind her, and I just fired the missiles to see if she could dodge them and kill me in time. So let's see right here. She manages to dodge the first one because of flares, but she didn't have enough time. She couldn't dodge it. So if you sneak up behind somebody, you can kill them very easily with this helicopter. Let's do one more test just to be certain of this. And right here in test number 2, she was flying around for a few minutes, and she knew I was going to ambush her at any point. So right here, let me get out of stealth mode. Let's see if she manages to defeat me on the second test right here. Got out of stealth mode, firing now. Came up right behind him. She manages to flare the first one. She can't turn around in time, and she's dead. So, if you go into stealth mode with this helicopter, you can kill anything you get the jump on. And here we have a dogfight, the Akula versus Savage, sped up. And in this test right here, I'm fighting the Savage head-to-head, missile to missile right here. None of these helicopters have flares. And in this instance, the Akula wins with 1 hit. And the only reason I think the Akula wins is because the helicopter is smaller and more agile. And in this test right here, we are testing the close-range cannons on the Savage, so a close-range fight. At close range, this helicopter has no chance against the Savage. Actually, to think about it, I don't think any helicopter has a chance against the Savage at close range, even the Hunter. And here we have a final test, head-to-head. The Akula versus the Buzzard. Which helicopter will win in the dogfight right here? And note that my friend right here, she is an absolute ace in this Buzzard. She's an absolute ace. A lot of people wouldn't be able to fly like this, but she's really good in this Buzzard, so it's a real challenge right here. But who would win in this? If it was an average player, I'm pretty sure that the Akula would easily win this fight because the Akula can fire unlimited missiles. But she's utilizing the machine gun because I'm a bigger target, and she's getting close to me, and she's firing missiles in my direction. So, in this instance right here, if you have a really good pilot in the Buzzard, you can defeat the Akula. But if this is an average player in this Buzzard, I think that the Akula will win because it can fire a constant amount of missiles with no cooldown. And in this case, she manages to take the Akula down with just a machine gun. She shot it up so much it died. Here I wanted to show you guys a little demonstration of the co-pilot's guns in this with the dual miniguns. And a lot of people think that this gun is useless. I don't think that it's completely useless because you have too many guns on this thing. That's a unique weapon. There's no other weapon where you can fire too many guns at once, and especially in a center direction like this. There's vehicles that have guns like miniguns, but they're spread out. They're on wings. Here we have two miniguns that are centered on a target that you can aim at. And as you guys see, I'm doing a hostile takeover. I managed to clear the area out. This can easily blow up vehicles, but it's hard to hit moving targets with this. And I have to warn you guys something really bad about this helicopter, something really bad that kind of really annoys me. This helicopter, it has two kinds of weapons, and it's Rockstar kind of cheaping us out on this right now, because what they could have done is they could have done it where the helicopter switches between the two weapons, which would have been fine. But instead here, you're forced to purchase either one, and then here's the worst part about it. The worst part about it is you buy the homing missiles, right? Because you want homing missiles, right? You pay $325,000. Guess what? You want missile barrage? You buy that. And then you want to switch back to homing missiles? Guess what? You got to pay $325,000 again. You want to switch to missile barrage? You got to buy that again. So you buy these huge attachments for them, and you don't get to keep them. You don't get to switch between the two. You don't get to. You have to keep repurchasing them every single time you want to switch weapons. Every single time. It's disgusting. So if you want to choose one, I would just personally go with homing missiles, because homing missiles you can just keep locking onto and you can just keep firing. And even if somebody's on the ground, you can still spam at them as long as there's no other targets to lock onto. It doesn't have a homing off option, which is disappointing, but it's still, I would just keep the homing missiles on there, because the missile barrage, it might be better at taking out a ground target that's not moving, but it only fires 4 missiles at a time, and it has a decent cooldown time on it, and you would have to switch every time. So I would just stick with the homing missiles and not buy this, because you're gonna run out of money. You're gonna spend so much money on this helicopter. Just keep the homing missiles. They're just better. And I wanted to show you guys one more cool little feature on this helicopter. A lot of people have been saying that the back seats, that they're useless, but I disagree. Because in the back seat, you can actually toggle on thermal and night vision. You have a camera on here. You obviously can't shoot from here, but you have a camera. You can turn on thermal or night vision. This would be very helpful at night, and you can spot targets for your pilot. What's unfortunate, though, is I haven't been able to mark targets with this. But if anybody's able to mark targets with this, let me know how you did it down below. Okay, so here I wanted to show you guys a damage resistance test. It's nothing special with this helicopter. It takes 3 homing missiles. However, when it comes to heavy sniper, it can take 7 explosive rounds. I mean, just look at this right now. Damn. Okay, so here we got the pros and the cons. I hope you guys like my new chart here. Some people have told me that I should update it and make the pros and cons sheet a little better. So I will be using these in the future. So I hope that these look better, and I hope people like this style that I'm using right now. But let's get on straight to it, shall we? Okay, so the helicopter for pros, this helicopter is a decent price. It's $2,785,000. I don't really have any complaints about the price. That's with the trade-in price. So make sure you guys do get the trade-in price. Complete the heist mission. I mean, you get money for the heist, and you might as well do the mission so that you can get the helicopter for the trade-in price. It can carry 4 people, and the reason that's a pro here in my book on this is because the other attack helicopters like the Hunter can only carry 2. So it is definitely a plus that it can carry 4 people. Stealth mode. That's probably the greatest thing about this helicopter, stealth mode. If you are a helicopter guy, you definitely want to add this helicopter to your collection. The stealth mode, if you go head-to-head with other helicopters with this helicopter, you can get defeated. But if you use stealth mode, you can get the jump on people, and you can have a huge edge. So while the helicopter without stealth mode is not the best for combat, if you use stealth mode and you get the jump on people, you can kill a lot of people with this helicopter. It has unlimited homing missiles. There's no cooldown. So it's good on that, not like the Buzzard where there's a cooldown. So unlimited homing missiles. The co-pilot has dual miniguns, which are great. You know, it's a new kind of weapon. We haven't had dual miniguns in a vehicle in the past. The back passenger has a camera, and what's kind of disappointing is that the camera, I can't mark with the camera, but it is good that the back co-pilots, that they can do something, you know, that they have night vision and they have thermal, that they have some kind of view with that helicopter. And the last pro is it has great agility. And here's the cons. This helicopter has no flares. And the reason I think that it has no flares, in my opinion, the reason I think it has no flares is I think it's a way to balance out the stealth mode in a way, because imagine if this helicopter did have flares. I mean, it is kind of a con, but it would be kind of overpowered if you get to sneak up on somebody and then have flares and constantly spam that. So yeah, I think that not having flares, I think it's a way to balance the helicopter. Next con is you need a hangar to customize this helicopter, to own this helicopter, and it's kind of crap and it's kind of misleading also, because the Akula is part of the Doomsday update. I wouldn't be complaining about this if the Akula was a Smuggler's Run vehicle, but it's part of the Doomsday update, which makes no sense. And in the mission with the Akula, when you steal the Akula and you bring it back to the facility, you land and the Akula goes down into the facility. The facility can store an Avenger, but can't store and customize an Akula. So for some strange reason, you can't customize the Akula or store it in. Instead, you have to buy a hangar just to customize this vehicle. It's crap. It's misleading. It shouldn't be in the game like that. If it's part of Doomsday, it should be part of Doomsday and you should be able to customize it in the facility. There's no reason why you should be required to buy a hangar for this. But next one is no explosive cannons. This is kind of a con also. It doesn't have the pilot doesn't have explosive cannons, and the co-pilot doesn't. I wish if they made the pilot's main guns, the same guns that are in the Rogue, that would be kind of balanced, because those cannons are kind of slow and they aren't the most accurate. They could have done that, but they didn't. But it's not that big of a deal, because I guess it's a way to balance out the helicopter, because if this helicopter had, imagine a cannon like the Savage and it could go into stealth mode, oh man, that'd be really bad. So I guess it's a way to balance it out. And there's no homing off missiles. And what I'm referring to with that is that if you use like a helicopter like the Buzzard, you can turn homing missiles off and you can just fire like in any direction you want. And that's one thing that gets me annoyed, is that you have to have either barrage or homing missiles, and you can't go to homing off. So what I would much rather use homing off to bomb like a ground target. Much rather use that instead of barrage. But I can't turn it. I can only have homing on, which is kind of disappointing. And barrage, it's bad in this helicopter. I don't recommend you use barrage. I recommend you just use homing missiles. Don't ever use the barrage, because the barrage is just with 4 missiles. That's all it has. It's versus the Hunter, which has 7, and you can't switch between the two. And the last con, and this is the worst one about this helicopter, Rockstar needs to do something about this, because I am sick of this, and I'm really sick of this. And some people are going to ask me, Professional, you have like $60 million. Why are you complaining about this? I'm not complaining about this for myself. I'm complaining about this for the community, for other players that don't have as much money as me. I can afford things like this, but it's disgusting that in order to switch between the homing and the barrage, that you have to buy it every time. Like, it wouldn't be that big of a deal if you could just buy them both. You would have them permanently, and you just have to take it back to the hangar, and you can switch between the two. And there's no reason why Rockstar couldn't make it a barrage and a homing, where you could just switch between it inside the helicopter without having to go inside the hangar. I mean, that's what the Hunter does. Why can't this helicopter do that? I don't understand. So it's a way to get people to spend even more money and get people to buy into microtransactions. So the worst con about this is the barrage and the homing, that you need to constantly switch it in the hangar. It's disgusting. I wish that when more people would review helicopters like this on YouTube, I really wish more GTA YouTubers would talk about issues like this, specifically with the homing and the barrage, because it's such a problem that you have to go into the hangar and you got to buy barrage. You want to switch to homing? Oh, well, guess what? You got to go back in the hangar. Now you got to pay another $300,000. It's a giant waste. You're going to be out millions. And the average player does not make the crazy amounts of money in a day, so it's a disaster. They shouldn't have had it like this. And one of my friends who hasn't played GTA in months, when he first got on Smuggler's Run, he got in the hangar, and I showed him all the new aircraft. He bought a few attachments. He tried to switch missiles, and this is the same thing with the other Smuggler's Run vehicles. He went back in the hangar, and he's like, "Wait, I have to pay again for these?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What the hell?" So this is exactly the problem that's going on. Other players are basically scammed. A lower level player that does not have that much money, he buys, for example, he buys homing, and then he buys barrage. He thinks that he still has homing. He goes back in the hangar, and he just wasted it and shocked that he doesn't have homing. And now he has to grind up to get the homing missiles back, or buy a shark card to make it easy. So that's the whole reason that it's happening. And I really wish Rockstar wouldn't price things this way, because it's disgusting. But I guess that's my review for this helicopter. Let me know what you guys think down below. Did you enjoy my review? What do you think? Do you agree with me on Rockstar's pricing system? Let me know down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this new pros and cons sheet I made. Let me know if you like it. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.